All right, everyone ready for this next session? I am joined today by Phil O'Hara from Delta Self Storage. Hey, Phil.
Hey, Jess, good to see you. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. I have Sjeffers from it's Be Safe Self Storage, correct?
Be Safe Storage, yes.
Be Safe. Be Safe Storage. And I have Justin Carter with us as well. Justin, it looks like you're recording from your car.
Yes. Yes, I'm on the road a lot. Good to see you, Jessica.
Good to see you. Thank you. And Justin's over with Right Space Storage, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Well, let's get this kicked off. This session is the great debate to auto pay or not auto pay. So we're going to dive into the pros, cons, the good, bad, ugly, and different about auto pay versus not auto paying. So Phil, I'm going to start off with you. Give me your thought on what you think is the best, auto pay or not to auto pay.
I mean, obviously, auto pay is, we need to have that. If every customer signed up on auto pay, that would be amazing, and it would be great. So, I mean, we drive it every day in our stores, making sure that we're educating our consumer on the perks of being on auto pay to avoid having to pay late fees.
Awesome. How about you, Stephen?
Oh yeah, auto pay is the way to go. I mean, if you can get all your customers on auto pay, I'm with Phil. You can. It's nice to have that extra revenue of late fee revenue, but if I see that most of my tenants are on auto pay, I just love them because they're going to be more or less resistant to rate changes and all this kind of things, and it's just it gets any type of staff able to spend less time on the phone tracking down late payers and more time cleaning the facility and out in the community marketing.
For sure. Justin, how about you?
With auto pay, I feel it's a win-win. If we look at how much team members in the sites are going to spend on collection calls and the accounts receivables within a week, or look at it within a quarter, mailing out paper invoices, going on property to overlock, going back out to the property to remove the overlock, manually recording checks, all that takes time from the ability to do operating procedures, to clean the facility, follow up with leads, reservations. I think it also improves the customer experience. Calling customers past due can create some uncomfortable situations or conversations. So it's money in the bank. It's revenue that is guaranteed. So, and I think it's about the tone with auto pay with our team members as well, with how we communicate that.
Awesome.
Perfect. We all agree.
Well, this isn't that much of a debate then.
Thanks, Jeff. It was great talking with you today. We'll see you next time.
I just wanted to get my group of buddies together. I mean, that's why I wanted to be here. Well, let me pose this real quick. So I know I've heard Stephanie Tharp speak before at a convention, and she does not allow anyone to come into her facility that is not automatically put on auto pay. She does not want renters, tenants out there to have the option to pay by, cash check, whatever other measures. What are your thoughts on that? Give me some techniques and tricks that you think about that.
I think the first thing to do, Jessica, is what I communicate with our team is the tone and being friendly. But when we talk about auto pay, when we have a new move-in that's standing right in front of us, simply to ask for a driver's license and a debit or credit card and really train the team members to go that route on just assume the sale, that we'll keep the card on file. And this day with Hulu, Netflix, gym memberships, rental cars, consumers are so well adapted to auto pay that if we really take it and go that avenue, there's honestly, I know from firsthand experience in the stores doing move-ins, there's not going to be that much pushback. You might get some, but if we assume the sale and just ask for the card up front, then it's a very good percentage that we're going to get that. On the other hand, you have existing customers, maybe they're not on autopay. When they call to make a payment or come by, we can simply say, hey, is this a card you'd like to keep on file? Maybe they don't know about the autopay program. So it's another way to advertise that and the benefits.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to agree with Justin here for sure. Assumptive selling is the best way, and the tactic we use, or I've used in the past as well, even when I was running the counter myself, is, simple. Is this the card you're going to use for your monthly payment? And when they say no, it's not okay. Great, you could call in your payment whenever you want. It's okay. Which card do you want to use? Which card's going to be the most beneficial for you, where you'll get rewards or you'll get a kickback just for using it? We're already paying the fees. Might as well sign them up. So it's either this or that, not no.
Sure.
Well, I'm gonna add too that we're in a society where we're pushing towards a cashless form of payment, and I look at our unmanned facility out in a ski resort town in Montana. We don't accept cash. And most of our tenants have accepted that, and so we have over 80% of our tenants right there are on autopay. And everybody else, we're actually giving incentives now to people to get onto autopay. It's just a lot easier. So I agree with both Justin and Phil about that. Just that we can incentivize existing tenants and get them on autopay and make that easier. We can. There's most softwares even now too can allow you to keep that auto enroll in a autopay box checked as the default for online rentals, so that a customer has to physically uncheck that, and not saying that they're going to forget about it, but more that when it's already checked, they're less likely to uncheck it.
Yeah, for sure. Do any of you guys have some mechanisms in place to alert you when credit cards are about to expire that you have on file?
Yes, for sure. When you put the card in, in most softwares, specifically SiteLink, I'll speak to just because I have knowledge of that. Other softwares, I'm sure, do the same thing. They'll come up with reminders that you could set automatic templates to go out as email reminders to your tenants to update their credit card on an online portal, or they could contact us and we can update that for them.
Awesome. Justin, Stephen, the same thing?
Yes. Yeah. We use SiteLink, and so there's a expiring roll report. So our team members can reach out to the customer beforehand and follow up with them before the card expires. One thing that I do want to add with autopay, out of sight, out of mind. I know years ago I got a gym membership, had it on autopay, and went a long time. When we discuss driving revenue and occupancy, autopay is, I don't know the stats, but I'd like to see how long autopay customers rent in the industry versus, cash or check, which, is a reminder. So
longer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I'm the best tenant you could possibly ever dream of. I haven't walked into my unit in 3 years. What's ever in there is probably dry rotted at this point. So autopay definitely has been the reason for that. I set it and forget it. And I pay my $100 a month and I don't even go visit my unit anymore. So awesome.
Every month you see the statement, I'm going to move out of that unit. I got to get that cleaned out. And then the next month rolls on. Even us, it's November already. It flies. Time flies. So it's
really does.
People just really I'm going to do that. And then they just don't get to it for sure, especially during the winter time.
Yeah. Any tips you can give people out there that have people that are giving resistance against it? I'll give my granny for an example. She still writes checks at the grocery store. She doesn't even have a debit card. How do you guys kind of train your staff to walk them through that process if they're giving you resistance?
So for us in New Jersey, and thanks to legislative efforts from the SSA and I know a lot of other states operate like this as well. We have our late fees are 18% of the monthly rent. So it really just comes down to educating the consumer. You got to know that when this happens inevitably or by accident, this is going to be a hefty charge. So our agents will actually calculate it out. Be like, your late fee is going to be $43. We're in a markets where the rent is pretty high. So, a $40 late fee is a tough pill to swallow sometimes. So then people will go, okay, yeah, let me sign up for that.
Gotcha. I have a question from the audience. Do you have everyone pay an Autopay authorization? Who wants to take that one?
Yes. So in most states for Autopay authorization, you do have to have some sort of form signed on file. So when someone does do Autopay, they just sign a quick form that says, "Hey, I'm authorizing this business to run my credit card on X date." I think there's an auto-populated template in SiteLink as well as storage, and that's just a simple thing. And if you ever get somebody on Autopay, yeah, it's a simple thing. You can email or even text it to them. They e-sign and it gets sent back to you very easily. That way, it's you're kind of covered, kind of a CYA thing. So if someone ever comes back and say, "Hey, I've been like you, Jessica, haven't been to your unit in 3 years," and you're saying you can dispute charges, but if that company has a signed Autopay authorization form from you, that business is covered.
For sure. Phil, Justin, anything you want to add to that?
I would just add if they do it online, the same thing. It's gonna timestamp the activity and put it into the account notes that they signed up for Autopay. So you're gonna have that backing as well. Plus, they self-served at that point, so it just marks down that they did agree to signing up for Autopay on your website.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, we have about 3 minutes before we wrap up this quick session. Thank you guys so much. And I forgot to do this at the beginning. If the three of you want to wrap this up with giving us a brief rundown of who you are and where you work, I would appreciate it. I'm sure our audience would as well. So Phil, I'll start with you.
Thanks. Delta Self Storage, we're located up in North Jersey and Brooklyn, New York City. Oversee the portfolio and drive it forward to success every day.
Awesome. Thanks, Phil. Stephen, how about you?
I'm with Be Safe Storage. I'm in charge of all of our operations and facilities management. We have 25 facilities over 5 states, and we continue to grow. I'm one of the ones that has climbed his way up from being an assistant manager at a small mom and pop facility up now doing corporate level activities. Love the storage industry and I've made it my career.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like storage found you. You didn't find storage.
That's exactly right.
Isn't that the way with most of us? I would assume, right? Just I think you have the same kind of story as well.
I do. Yeah. I didn't even know I was coming to work for a storage company when I first entered the organization. So I got this email, Jessica, at the SBOA, and I'm like, well, what's the SBOA? And it's been history ever since. And now I can't see myself leaving this wonderful industry. It's full of great people. Justin, let's wrap up with you, and then we're going to move on to the next session.
Thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome.
Yes, I've been in self-storage for about 13 years, and I'm with Right Space Storage. Been there been on the team for 3+ years. We are based out of Dana Point, California, Orange County area. I'm a regional manager for the company. I'm in North Texas and oversee 10 properties in North Texas, as well as 1 in the Memphis, Tennessee area.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining for this quick session. It's been a pleasure working with each of you, and I hope I get to see all of you in March in Orlando at the National SSA show. It's in my backyard. It's only a 2-hour drive, so I'll be there. All right, guys, I'm going to jump. Thanks for being here. We appreciate having you guys. Have a great rest of your day.